Hmm. What's this? You actually have game audio this time? Gasp! Hello, what's here to you, and welcome back to Let's Play Super Mario Odyssey. In the previous episode, I was an idiot box on a stick who forgot to export the game audio when I was doing the videos. Yay! And in today's episode, we're moving on to the Seaside Kingdom. Now, before we do anything, for this first Power Moon, I highly recommend you go into multiplayer. This is our beach volleyball court. Have you played? Of course you haven't. Otherwise you would have gone to Power Moon already, you little twerp. Now, this, I gotta say, my Odyssey has a decent amount of challenging levels. The jump rope one wasn't actually all that bad. Especially if you use that one trick. But this one, I gotta say, is easily the most difficult level in the entire game. And I'm including every post-game stuff. You know what I'm talking about if you played this game already. But I strongly consider this to be the most difficult level in the entire game. I still struggle with this one. This one took me an hour to record. And that's like the big reason why I wanted to do post-commentary for this instead, because I don't know if I would have had the strength to just continue this with live commentary and things like that. So, the reason why I recommend that you go into multiplayer for this instead is because Cappy will be able to move around the area faster than Mario, and especially when the volleyball goes a lot faster, it's just going to be a lot easier to just keep circling around the area quickly rather than just have Mario running around, because the thing with Mario is that, yeah, he does move around decently fast, but it takes him a moment to really get to top speed, whereas Cappy just stays in top speed forever. And also, it's also a good idea to have Mario on one of the corners, so that if there's like one particular spot that you seem to be having trouble going to, you can just leave Mario there and he'll keep the ball going. So like, this is like a repeat of the jump rope thingy, because like he fell asleep during that, and Mario's just relaxing and having a stay, soaking in the sun while the hat's doing everything. This is really amusing to see. But yeah, the big reason why I'm not really that fond of this level, it's not necessarily that it goes too fast or anything like that. Like, I really do like this level when the volleyball goes quickly. My problem with it, though, is that when you start over, it just goes so slow the first 10 or 20 volleys and stuff. It's just, the beginning of this minigame is honestly a little boring. I don't like how slow it is at first. It's really annoying. And also the fact that it doesn't start up immediately or anything like that, because, like, sometimes the ball will disappear completely and you gotta leave the court and come back. It's really, really obnoxious. But yeah, at this point right here, this is where I would recommend now changing your strategy to just kind of like Cappy go in circular loops across the area so that the volleyball can keep going and things like that, because I tend to notice that for this, more often than not, by the time you finish like spinning and things like that, you're probably going to be landing at the spot where the volleyball goes anyway. There's also the fact that the volleyball can touch the ground for a split second before it counts as a loss. So, like, even if you're like on the other side of the area, Cappy moves around so quickly that by the time the would register as a loss, you probably would have caught up to it anyway. Now, this isn't a perfect strategy. You can't just keep spinning around in circular loops while, like, looking at your phone or eating a Klondike bar or something like that and just assume you're going to win. You do want to keep attention to where everything is. And also, probably it's also a good idea to just play with the second person in general, because you can have one person focusing on one side of the court, the one focusing on the other side. Now, that can cause a problem, because I do believe the two characters touch each other, then Cappy will go back on top of Mario's head, you gotta push the button to release him again. So you want to be careful with that, but if you just keep trying, you will be able to do it. This will take a couple attempts. It took me an hour to record this footage, but eventually, if you just keep trying, you will be able to do it. And we did it! Yay! First try. Easy game. Easy. Too easy. I like how I said a dead or alive quote after playing a beach volleyball minigame. Yeah, that's certainly an interesting game. I'm just gonna say that right now. And as usually the case with these kind of level video thingamabobs. So, we'll be going over this way, towards our destiny. As soon as we can find the destiny. I'm a roving racer, and I've already made this joke, so we're gonna continue onwards. Unless you want to be poked. I don't know where I was going with that. I can't come up with lyrics on the spot to save my life. And I'm gonna be honest, I think this might be one of the more difficult Koopa races throughout the game. Now, it's not really that difficult or anything like that. It's just that this one, it does take a moment to figure out a good route for this one because you start underwater. So, this one's a pretty fun one. So, what I recommend you do, like we're showcasing right now, recommend you start by grabbing a Cheep near the opening of the area, and then going over here and grabbing one of these bubble guys. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, and I feel bad because I usually am pretty good at remembering Mario enemy names, but I can never remember these guys off the top of my head. Also, those guys would also make a really fun, like, Paper Mario design. I'm just gonna say that right now. Like, I know I keep harping on Origami King, and I really don't mean to, because, like, contrary to what it may sound like, I actually really do like Paper Mario the Origami King. Like, even if it's not as good as, like, Super Paper Mario or the original one or anything like that, like, even if it's not like that, it's still a really solid game. I would be willing to argue that when it's good, it's really good. Like, some of the best moments in the Paper Mario series has ever done levels are good. And I would strongly defend my opinion that the desert chapter might be one of my favorite moments in the entire series. It's just that the low points really do drag down the game, and it kind of makes it hard to go back and replay through it. And it's like, they have a good story in the game. They actually did try with that. And when they have the original characters in it, they're really fun. But they keep limiting themselves on really dumb limitations. And it's like, you can see that there's a barrier that they just refuse to go through, but they keep pushing up against that barrier. Like, you have a character named Bobby, and people were freaking out, excited that there was a character named Bobby. And, like, yeah, he's a fun character and all, but he has, like, one of the most basic generic names out there. I'm sorry, but it really does. And he's literally just a bob-omb without a fuse. That's kind of creative, but it's nowhere near the degree that we want in the series. So, the fact that that alone made people excited that we might get original characters, and like, that kind of says a lot, doesn't it? And the really annoying thing is that they keep saying that they can't add on to existing characters or anything like that, but you see that all the time in Origami King. You have the Bob-omb without the fuse. You have the Pirate Captain Toad person thing. You have the Archaeologist Toad. You have, like, so many original designs, but you just refuse to go further than that. It's just really, really baffling. But also, yeah, I like Origami King. I swear I like Origami King. But now is not the time for talking about Origami King. Now is the time to talk about Odyssey. Yay! We're in the Seaside Kingdom. Do-do-do. Seaside Kingdom. Do-do-do. I like the Seaside Kingdom. Do-do-do. Alright, so the next Power Moon we'll be collecting, we'll be wanting to use the bubble person thingy to go over this way, because... Oh! A Power Moon? For me? Oh, you shouldn't have. What shines inside the glass? So a bit of a fun story that I don't think I've ever mentioned. So, okay, this part I have mentioned before in videos, but one of my ultimate goals for Let's Playing is to eventually 100% like every 3D Mario game out there. And so far, the only ones that we haven't done a Let's Play of, not counting collabs or anything like that, but the only ones we haven't done Let's Plays of were Sunshine, 64DS, 3D World, and Bowser's Fury. So, the reason why I bring this up is because in my early days of videos, I was admittedly a bit nervous about wanting to do a Sunshine Let's Play for a couple of reasons. One, Chuck Garner's Let's Play was the one that got me into Let's Playing in the first place, so I kind of felt like if I were to do videos on that one, I'd want to wait until I'm more comfortable doing Let's Plays in the first place. But also, I've mentioned this a couple times before, but I have a speech impediment where I sometimes have a hard time pronouncing SHs properly. So, whenever there's a word with an SH, I kind of have to focus a little bit harder on the word than I usually have to. So, for Sunshine, like, I just knew that if I were to Let's Play that game in my early days, then I'd be pronouncing it Sunshine instead of pronouncing it properly, and people would be making fun of me for it, so I was a little self-conscious about that. That's kind of like the big reason why I didn't want to do a Sunshine Let's Play for the longest time. But who knows? Maybe at some point. I don't know if it'll be the next 3D Mario Let's Play, but maybe at some point, now that I don't care what other people think about me. So we got that Power Moon. And the next one is going to be located over here. There's an 8-bit warp pipe. Those things just look so cool. Like, I just love the design for the 8-bit pipes, how they look a bit more blocky than anything else. Like, it's just such a fun, clever design for them. It's really cool. And I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with them in Super Mario Bros. Wonder, because, like, from what we've seen of that game, it already looks really cool and creative and stuff. But here's the thing about Mario Bros. Wonder. So, with Odyssey, we got that first teaser, but it didn't really show anything about capturing in the game. It just showed some of the worlds and a little bit of the story and things like that, but we didn't see anything about capturing in the first trailer for Odyssey. So, it's entirely possible with Super Mario Bros. Wonder that we haven't actually seen the primary gameplay mechanic of that game yet. Now, it might be possible that we have already seen the primary gameplay mechanic, but I just think it's really cool that, like, that we're getting, like, basically like a 2D Mario Odyssey, because this is, like, definitely probably the most creative 3D Mario game out there, alongside the Galaxy games. And to get that level of creativity with the 2D game, after so many years of the new Super Mario Brothers games getting criticized for being, like, kind of basic and generic and things like that, and, like, I love those games. But after 4 of them, it definitely was apparent that they were playing it a little bit too safe for the 2D Mario games. So I'm really happy that Super Mario Bros. Wonder is taking the Odyssey route and just going all into it, into the creativity. I'm just really excited about that. And now that I've said that, now I'm a little bit worried that the game might not turn out that good. Because that's kind of like a self-conscious thing that I think about every now and then. So, like, I'll talk about an opinion about an upcoming game in a video, and I get really worried about it because, like, oh my goodness, I said that I'm super excited about this game. What if it's not good? What if it's terrible? People will then know that I was once excited for it. It's like that thing Chuck Garner did Sticker Star when the game was coming out, and he was like, I'm downloading Big Bar Sticker Star, and so should you. But now there's some musical-y notes. So what I recommend right here is I recommend you kind of get half of the musical notes in a circle, kind of going in like a zigzag pattern like this, so that you can get the rest of them on the way back. Because it will take a little bit longer to just go in a circle and then move on to the next one. So I recommend you do that instead, because the time for that, the time to grab all those musical notes, it's a little bit tight to get them all. So hopefully you'll be able to get them all okay. Now moving on to the next one. Wee! Owie! That hurt my feelings, you jerk. Die, bird! Bird traveling over the ocean. Oh, yeah. Oh no, evil seaweed, whatever are we gonna do? They're so scary. So over here, we have a moon pipe. Ew. We've never seen these before in any video ever. So what you want to do is that you want to use a Mr. Pokemon. Okay, I really should have written down these enemy names before starting this video, because normally I'm good at remembering them, but lately I've been bad about that, so I feel bad about that. But just calling him Mr. Pokemon, that sounds like something that an old guy would say when trying to talk about Pikachu or something like that. But anyway, so now we're going over here. We're going to want to use Mr. Pokemon to destroy the blocks of doom and destruction. So you can see the pattern that the bombs are going to be rolling back and forth by the darker parts on the ground. So that's something that's pretty fun. Now you may be wondering, well, yeah, I can see that for myself. Why are you verbally pointing that out to me? I'm pointing that out to my sister, and she just looks hard for like a hard moment, and it was like, oh, that's actually kind of neat. Yeah, she played through the first regular moon in this room, not realizing that detail. So that was pretty fun. But just like any other good moon pipe, there's also a secret passage. So for this one, what you want to do, you're going to want to wait for the other bomb to go this way. And about right here, this is usually going to be a good spot for this, but about right here, with good timing, explosions will be your best friend. We can be friends. We can be friends. I think that all the time, but I can't remember what it's from. I want to say Sesame Street. I think it is Sesame. Yeah, it is Sesame Street. Yeah. Speaking of which, I gotta say, I haven't really talked about Sesame Street like at all in videos or anything like that, but my baby niece loved Sesame Street and things like that. She especially loves Grover. It's one of the most adorable things ever because, like, I don't know if she does it nowadays, but when she was a little younger, she would do the Grover quote where she'd be all like, "This is near, and this is far." It was super adorable. But, like, I love Grover. Like, when I was younger, Elmo was my favorite Sesame Street character, and then, like, a couple years ago, it was Oscar the Grouch, but I gotta say, I think it's Grover. Because, like, Grover is, like, super funny and adorable and things like that. I just love Grover. So, for the next Power Moon, you'll be noticing a lot of jump cuts around here because I got lost in this area for a while because I'm a big dumb yet. So we want to go across this area, use the super amazing powers of Cappy to activate the turnstiles. Yay! And can you imagine a thing like that in real life where you're like going through a subway and rather than using a ticket or paying for it to go through a turnstile, you just throw a hat at it? That'd be amusing. And the final shiny goodness thingy. The final shiny goodness thingy. Yes, I am great at describing things, aren't I? I am just the greatest at describing everything, aren't I? But the final one's going to be located over here. Yay, it's so shiny. I like shiny, and shiny likes me. And for the secret level, it's going to be going over this way. This one took me a little while to find, admittedly, but this turnstile over here has a secret passage. That's like a time that I made that reference in this video. We got the coins, we got the treasure chest, and now we are happy forever. That is the true key to happiness. Just find a treasure chest and hope that whatever is inside is shiny. But now that all that nonsense is out of the way, that is everything in the Seaside Kingdom. All the Power Moons, all the regional coins, and every flavor of Klondike bars. What would you do for a Klondike bar? Thank you so much for watching this video for Super Mario Odyssey. In the next episode, we'll be taking care of the Luncheon Kingdom. Yeah, I get to have lunch finally! Woo! Until next time, Lady Gator to you. Oh yeah.